Welcome to Sunday Springboard with Melanie and Kimberlyn Coaching, where we help women find their strength and flourish after major life transitions. Last week, we started talking about Christmases and holidays and how we see those perfect Christmases, the Rockwell Christmases, the Hallmark Christmases, and we wish that we could have those same ones. And ours maybe are more like Griswold Christmases than Hallmark Christmases. But we started talking about how can we have a happy holiday regardless whether it's not looking the same as it usually is, whether we're not being able to do our normal traditions, or whether we just generally haven't even had the kind of Christmases that we wish. How can we have better holidays? This series has 4 videos. Last week, we just kind of talked about embracing the change, just realizing that things aren't going to look the same and being okay with that, thinking outside the box and allowing ourselves to make new traditions in this new world we're living in right now. Today, we're going to talk about holidays without our loved ones. Just as a reminder, I record all my videos and I post them on my website, KimberlynCoaching.com. Go to the Springboard tab, and then you can catch up on this series, and you can watch previous videos also. So today, we're going to talk about missing our loved ones. So, your family may be not having large get-togethers this year because of COVID. You may be having, because of finances, jobs, or military deployments, things may be keeping people from being able to travel and come to see you at Christmas, or you be able to travel to see them at Christmas. Maybe you don't get to have your older children with you at Christmas because they're with their in-laws. Maybe you don't get to have your younger children with you because they're with their other parent. Maybe you're not able to be with your children or your family members because of family issues. Maybe you're estranged, or maybe you don't get to be with a loved one because they passed away. Maybe you've chosen not to be with someone because they're toxic, but you're still missing them, and there's a hole in your life where that person used to be. As I was thinking about these situations, it seems like you can break these down into 2 categories. One are the situations where you are not able to be with your loved ones physically. You still have a connection with them in the heart. You can visit with them virtually, but for whatever reason, you cannot be with them physically in the way that you normally are. And then the other situation would be when you're not able to be with your people because of estrangement or because they passed away. You cannot visit with these people. You don't have any feeling that you're going to be able to be with them anytime soon. You can hope for it if you're estranged, but you have no control over that unless you are the one creating that estrangement. And I want to talk about that for just a moment. There are certainly situations where it is entirely appropriate to cut off a relationship with someone who is toxic, whether it's a family member, whether it's a marital partner, or whatever. There are certainly those situations. And if you're in that situation, I tell you, stay strong, create new families that come from the heart and not from blood. But if this estrangement is becoming between you and a family member that possibly is just a conflict, I would ask you just at least look at it. Decide, is this possibly a misunderstanding? Is this happening because of pride? Maybe just think about starting a process of reconciliation if it's not that previous toxic thing I was talking about. Maybe think about forgiving the other person, asking for forgiveness, just taking some steps toward reconciliation. There's not much worse than being separated from your loved ones when it's not really necessary. So let's go back to our 2 categories. What do we do to make our holiday better if we can't be with our loved ones in a normal physical way, but we're still connected through our hearts? Obviously, the first thing we think of is have a big virtual Zoom meeting or Skype meeting, or have individual Zoom meetings or FaceTime meetings. Whatever way you can virtually to see each other and visit, that's always helpful, even though it's not as good as being in real person. It's still better than nothing. And we're so grateful. I'm so grateful for technology that we can actually at least get to talk with our loved ones and give virtual hugs. So if there's, maybe you're thinking about your own grief and not seeing those people, but maybe you're thinking about the grief of the other people. They're missing you. So there are things you can do to help them out. You can send them some snail mail. Isn't that so cool to get a real letter in the mail, because we just don't get that much nowadays? Maybe you can send small gifts. Maybe you can order something from Amazon and have it shipped to them so you don't have to pay for shipping. Think outside the box. I saw a family had made these big old cardboard cutouts, and they put their children's faces on them and drew arms, and they called them virtual huggers. And they were sending them to their grandparents so that their grandparents could get virtual hugs from their grandkids. So just research it, come up with interesting new ways, that fun ways to help your loved ones that you're not able to actually see, that they can feel loved and hugged by you. So if the problem is that you can't be with your loved ones on the actual holiday, maybe you can be with them, but not actually on that day, go ahead and have your celebration early or have your celebration late, and then make other plans on the actual holiday so that you're not home alone. So you can maybe you have some friends who also can't be with their family on Christmas Day. Maybe there are people at your church, in your neighborhood. Use this day to make new friends. Or maybe you could help serve a Christmas meal somewhere, or serve it some other ways. Research it. You're not the only person in your area who is not able to be with their family on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, or any other big holiday. Take action and make plans so that you don't stay home alone and feel sorry for yourself. Do any of you have any other ideas? I'm sure there are many more ideas than I have thought up here. Pinterest, of course, can be a good example for you, and I would just love to hear from you if you've come up with any interesting ways to either enjoy it for yourself or help other people enjoy it that are missing you. Now let's look at the category of not being able to be with our loved ones because of estrangement or death. This is not such an easy thing. I don't have any real answers here, but I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I've done that have helped me get through these times. The first one is just allow yourself to grieve and allow yourself to be happy. You allow yourself to have a good time. It is possible to do both at the same time. Being happy and grieving are not mutually exclusive. So if you are going through these times, you might feel guilty. You might be thinking things like, how can I be, what kind of person am I that I could be feeling happy when I don't have a relationship with my children? Or how can I allow myself to be happy when my loved one just passed away this past year? And it may feel like you're betraying them or not being true to them if you're allowing yourself to be happy when things aren't the way you wish they were. Just allow yourself to feel how you feel. You can do both at the same time. You're not hurting them at all. You're just making your life better and the people around you better. So this idea that grief and joy are not mutually exclusive was a big aha for me. The other thing that helped me was to get involved with people around me who did want to spend time with me. Maybe your friends' children or your nieces and nephews, maybe the children at your church. You can even find agencies that help children and help out that way. You can sponsor a child and support them on a monthly basis. You can find a child and provide Christmas for them. Angel Tree helps the children of prisoners. And there are other agencies that help children who are in foster care or who are members of poor families. If you're missing your senior loved ones, check at a local nursing home. Find out what you could do that will be helpful. I know it was easier before COVID, but maybe going in and singing Christmas carols outside the windows, or maybe they can come to the front doors and you can sing out like that. You could get a group of people. You would also be helping them, right? Or maybe you can bring baked goods or whatever they feel like is safe for the residents, and something that you can help them and cheer them up, and then it will cheer you up also. Anytime we start thinking about helping other people, we are helped and we are blessed, and we get our minds off of ourselves and the sadness that we are currently feeling. So what about those children or those family members that you're currently estranged from? Do you contact them? Do you send them presents? Only you know the answer to that. I say pray about it and trust your gut. For me, I've always felt the need to keep on sending the Christmas presents as long as I have an address. You need to do whatever brings you peace. You can't listen to what other people say. Other people don't know your situation. So just think about it, pray about it, and then just do whatever feels right for you. And just know that I always look at it as sowing seed. I don't expect anything back at the time, but I just hope that someday in the future they will bring something good from it. So if you decide not to send something and you're feeling the lack of the joy of buying presents and sending things, then do one of the things I thought I mentioned earlier. Find a child, find a family who aren't having a Christmas and provide Christmas for them. This will be a blessing for everyone involved. So what if you've decided not to be with someone, but you're still missing them? Consider maybe you're just missing the dream. If you believe they're not good for you, but you're still longing for them, maybe make a list of all the reasons that you chose this separation. Read it to yourself to remind yourself whenever you're feeling weak and thinking of going back. This will be a great situation to take advantage of the free coaching session that I'm offering, which I will talk more about in a few minutes. Here's how I come to see it. We have a place in our heart. Each one of our significant loved ones have their own place in our heart. If something happens and they're not in our lives and that hole is empty, that hole never goes away. However, I have found that having relationships with other people helps squish those holes a little bit so that they're not the big gaping wounds that they started out as being. They're still there, but they don't hurt as much on a daily basis. So holidays don't look the same. Whether you're with your loved ones or not, I'm sure there are differences in your celebration this year. Holidays can be hard, and especially so this year. So I'm offering a free 45-minute coaching session to anyone interested. These will be available until the end of the year. No sales, no strings attached. I just want to see if I can help you and show you how powerful coaching can be. I've already had a few of these, and the clients that I worked with and we were all pleasantly amazed at what powerful things we're able to do in just a short amount of time. So these are all done virtually, and I will put the link in the show notes so that you can use that to schedule your coaching session. I would love to visit with each and every one of you. Meanwhile, I hope I've given you some good holiday tips. I hope you are having a good holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.